Today I'm recording on my other phone, and so it's strange to be staring at this camera that I think is on a strange angle on this phone. But it is what it is. Sometimes we have to do a bit of adapting, especially since my Instagram has not been often working on my other phone that is so old, apparently, that, or something. Something is there, some reason why it's not always working. But anyway, so what's really coming to me today is the fact that I've been meaning to talk about when you are a sensitive, kind woman, kind person, loyal and open and easily trusting and empathetic, and people just treat you like garbage. So, us chosen ones, earth angels, starseeds, empaths, highly sensitive people, incarnated angels, human angels, we are healers. We have a light within us. We don't see that. We don't necessarily see that light, especially when we have been family scapegoats since childhood. We've been abused. We have had narcissistic parents. We don't see our own gifts and talents. And in the worst case, we blame ourselves for other people's issues and we become depressed. Like I was most of my life living in fear, shame, guilt, and depression caused by the bullies at school, and also my toxic family members, my narcissistic mother who used to physically attack me. And I think what is also infuriating is when people seriously, they don't understand what it is like to live a life as a sensitive person, as a sensitive truth speaker. And then you have to learn to set boundaries since childhood on your own. You have to learn to build your life since childhood on your own, because nobody has been there for you. And how much work that alone is. But then these random people even can be trying to pour their fucking bullshit. Excuse me my language, but they try to pour all of their issues, their traumas, their problems onto you like it's somehow yours to take care of, like it's somehow yours to handle, like you are responsible. So these are serious issues. We're talking about trauma, we're talking about depression, we're talking about child abuse, we're talking about childhood trauma issues that these people clearly have. Typically, they always have inner child issues. They can be narcissistic. They can be avoidant, like narcissistic people are. They are avoidant. They run away from accountability and responsibility. So as soon as there is a bump in the road, something happens. Somebody demands respect, for example. Somebody demands accountability and responsibility. What these people do is they run away, they shut down, they block you, they go silent, they practice silent treatment. Or they attack you, they lash out on you, they claim that you are being the abusive one, just because you are setting your healthy boundaries and demanding truth and standing up for yourself. And again, of course, this is where healthy boundaries are needed even more. If people are constantly testing your boundaries as a sensitive person, you have to learn to stop being too nice. You have to learn to set those boundaries even more without shame and guilt and, just being unapologetic about them, because that's the only way to go. And that is how God is also intending it to go, because we're not anyone's freaking punching bags. We have a human worth as well. And we have to embrace our gifts, our talents, our superpowers, be the super empath who we are supposed to be. And there is a concept called super empath, apparently, as well as a dark empath. So a dark empath is someone who is being toxic and thinking that they are an empath, but a super empath is empowered. But so, especially if you are a sensitive, kind woman right now watching this, you have found me in my work, then you're in the right place, definitely. I only serve my soul people. I'm only talking to my soul people. I'm not talking to anyone else. I cannot help toxic people. I will not help toxic people ever again. I tried to do that most of my life since childhood with my own toxic mother, who made me feel like I needed to rescue and save her and her mental health and her issues and fix her issues, yada, yada, yada. But that is what narcissistic parents do to you when you are an empath. Empath child, empath girl, empath woman, you're their daughter, so they do that, whether they realize it or not. Of course, physically attacking somebody is very usually intentional, and it can be so infuriating when you seriously feel like you cannot go anywhere. You simply cannot leave your freaking home. Or if you live in an apartment complex, that there are many apartments, you have neighbors living close to you, and there is neighbor noise, for example, and you cannot sleep, and your peace is disrupted all the time, and things like that. So it can happen again, that basically history is repeating itself, that you feel like you are the scapegoat again, that people are not taking responsibility and accountability of their actions. They don't know how to practice empathy. They are not respectful. They are not transparent. They are not being smart adults, but instead they try to make you responsible. They can come to your door out of nowhere, ringing your doorbell and asking things from you. So the more you have been trying to set your boundaries and make those people responsible of what they have been doing, they try to make you the freaking scapegoat and try to pour their shit on you and blame you and attack you. They can come to yell at your door. If you're on the yard of that building, they can come to yell at you. Like you are somehow the villain in the story. Like you somehow are responsible for what has been happening. When you have to remind yourself that you have not been doing anything. You have just been doing the right thing. You have just been doing what you can do. When you have been reminding them of basic human decency and manners and respect. So, as much as we might be living the end times and people acting out, people being demonic, etc., because that is ultimately what it is when you have no empathy, you have no decency, you have no respect for other people, not for animals, not for children, not for other living beings. You just fucking think about yourself and your own selfish needs. And you watch porn and you use people as sexual objects. You use women. You exploit empath, empathy. Things like that. I cannot even begin to think about the pain, as the pain makes me feel very, very sick. And also because I have been bringing out the topic of social workers, doctors, narcissistic authorities in my country here in Finland, because I'm Finnish. So, because I've witnessed these sorts of people practice their power wrong. And it is infuriating. And it's like nobody's doing anything. So somebody has to do something. And apparently it's been a part of my mission to bring these things out, to talk about them. So when you are a victim of these sorts of narcissistic authority figures, it can be such a heavy, traumatizing situation. And especially if it goes on for years. So it is really destructive what happens. And sometimes, there just comes a time when you are an adult, you are a truth speaker of God. God has been calling you to be the truth speaker. You're not supposed to be the family scapegoat and the doormat for people. But I don't typically know, I don't usually know. I've seen so much wrongdoing, so many toxic people, narcissistic people in the countries where I've traveled. But here in Finland, people are basically sheep. People don't talk. People do not do anything. So who gets the blame? Of course, the one who is standing up for themselves, the one who's being the truth speaker, the one who is setting those healthy boundaries and saying, no, this is not acceptable. I deserve my peace in my home. So it's always the same pattern that can be repeating, that has been happening in your childhood when you have been the family scapegoat. People have been pouring their fucking shit onto you because that has felt like the easiest way to go, apparently. When it's not. It's destroying your life as a child, as a teenager. Doesn't matter what age you are, but it's been destroying your life. It is not acceptable. And it's about time that those people have to face their consequences. They have to get their karma, and they will. They will get their lessons and their karma in one way or another. Of course, the best way is no revenge. The more you focus on peace and love, it's always the healthiest way to go. Like I was just talking in my reading yesterday. Because, okay, again, if you don't set your boundaries, if you are the doormat, if you are being too nice, if you are pleasing these people, if you don't say anything, my experience is that, it doesn't stop and it just gets worse. Nobody's coming to save you. I was engaged for 4 years. When I was 19, after that I was engaged with a guy whose brother was bullying me all the freaking time, and I was too nice to call him out on his bullshit, and he was hurting me. It was really abusive, on top of everything that I had already been going through, and he had no idea about my past and who I am and how sensitive I am, etc. And neither did that guy who I was engaged to, who was my boyfriend. So it is just crazy. So eventually there has to come a point, there has to come a morning, a day, whatever it is, when you have that light bulb moment that enough is enough. Of course, pray every single day. We have to turn to Father God because we cannot keep on trusting people generally because they have no idea what we have already gone through. They have no idea what we are about. In the worst case, they are putting us down and somehow trying to cause it to make them feel better about themselves. Like they're getting this sick pleasure out of hurting innocent people who have not done anything to them. It's so fucking psychopathic. But again, the more you are just being that nice person, that nice woman, because men have been putting women down for centuries. The more you are just being that quiet person, like basically as Finnish people, we don't do anything. When we see something, nobody does anything. Nobody's daring to make reports about child abuse or neighbor noise or whatever. So who gets the consequences? Those innocent ones, us chosen ones. When we did not do anything. And as they say that you get those lessons over and over again before you learn them. So of course, it's also basically an invitation for you to set more of those boundaries, for you to be cutting off those toxic people. I always talk about healthy relationships, how to manage them, how to attract them, how to upkeep them, and how to be cultivating only healthy, respectful relationships, because that's the only way to go. We cannot be destroying ourselves, dealing with these immature, toxic people. I was For 25 years, I was basically sexually harassed by my old crush. And I had to learn the hard way that it seems that he never respected me. He never saw me for the person who I am. And it freaking hurt. So, as a chosen one, you might have been putting out fires your entire life and you did not even realize it. But now, if you have found me in my work, you're watching this video, you have found me on YouTube or Threads or Instagram, because I'm on them. I'm not on Facebook. Facebook was too abusive for me and people were draining me out there as well. So I've had to be striving to discover my platforms that are working for me. So again, if you're one of my soul people, welcome, of course. And, if this resonates. If you need more help and support, buy my self-help book. Apply to work with me. Because you're not alone and I can help you. We need the right kind of support and I can provide that for you. Because it is just so wrong that usually it's us kind people who get bullied, we get sexually harassed, we get abused. And when we try to set our boundaries, our healthy boundaries, these people, what they do, they try to laugh it off. They laugh at you. Either they come to your life to use and abuse you for your benefits, for your advantages. They enjoy the energy, the warmth, the empathy, the love, the care, the compassion, understanding, loyalty, whatever it is that you've been giving to them. They sure as hell enjoy that. But what about your healthy boundaries? What about you as a person? What about reality? Because we need to also live in reality. Are they only seeing you as this fantasy object? Or do they actually respect you and see you as a person too? And that is, of course, where discernment comes to play, because we need to be careful who we trust, who we open up to. We need to be more private when it comes to things that are personal, that are painful. Otherwise, there's this trap that these people try to turn everything against us again. Apparently, it can happen so easily that these people do not have empathy. They do not possess human decency. They don't know how to act with respect. Instead, they lash out on you. They attack you or they go silent. They just dump you like yesterday's garbage, for example. They can be so narcissistic, so immature, so broken. And they have come to you because you are this nurturing, beautiful light. So, the next time somebody is again trying to do this to you, you have to trust your intuition. Feel this situation out. Take a pause. For example, if someone is saying to you that they love you, somebody wants your attention in a romantic way, especially as a sensitive woman, you have to listen to your intuition. Is this person truly meant for me? Does this person deserve access to me, to my home, to my life, to my feelings, to my heart? Or should I set more healthy boundaries with this person? And what happens if I do? Well, that is the ultimate test. The more you are vulnerable with them, honest, setting your healthy boundaries, you will see if they are meant for you. Sometimes you just have to close the door in somebody's face and say no. And yes, it can feel very uncomfortable, especially when you are used to being the family scapegoat, the people pleaser, the too nice woman, the too nice girl, always giving to others what they want from you. Yeah, it can be very difficult and uncomfortable. In the beginning especially, and even after that, because you want to make people happy, because you actually care about random strangers, you care about animals, you care about children, you care about the well-being of this entire planet, because you are here sent by God to help heal it. So yes, you care. But then also, of course, you might have to learn the hard way that you need to start on top of setting those boundaries, on top of also learning self-love, self-care, self-worth, and living your life your way. Also, on top of that, you might have to really learn to let it go and give it to God, because that's the ultimate way to go. Because again, if you are wallowing in anger and anxiety, it's not serving you. That's not your natural energy. It's going to be causing you illnesses and even more pain. And in the worst case, you are attracting more of that. So you don't want that. So that is why it's crucial to cut off those cords and send their energy back with love and give it to God. Yes, people should grow the F up and they should learn to take accountability and responsibility. Like my exes, my toxic exes, like my narcissistic mother, like my toxic family members, who never took the time to actually get to know me, who I am as a person. Honestly, I have felt like an object my entire life. And that thought feels very hurtful, very disrespectful. When people take your truth and your healthy boundaries as an attack, they take all of that, what is healthy. They take the truth as a lie. They twist and turn everything that is healthy into something toxic, like you're somehow being so difficult, when you're just being yourself and doing what you have to do. So yeah. There are, like I've been saying in my videos, there are these social workers here in Finland who spread lies about people to keep their children away from them. And apparently people are not doing much about it. The justice system is very, very weak when it comes to this. The prosecutor doesn't usually do anything. They just say things like, oh, this is too difficult to prove, or they don't even take the case, or they have an excuse for everything. I have witnessed this personally, that these people rather use an excuse and lie than face the truth and actually take accountability and responsibility. But that gives me even more reason to be an advocate for justice and truth. So again, if you're one of my soul people, thank you for supporting my work, subscribing to my YouTube, follow me on Instagram and Threads, apply to work with me. I would love to help, of course, every and each one of you. I know that I cannot help all of you to heal and recover and move on just with my videos. So the more you work with me privately, one-on-one, the more I can help. Sending all of you so much love and light. Thank you for also sending me back your cute, kind, loyal energy by subscribing and supporting my work and liking this video and my videos, of course, and my posts, and sharing them to other fellow people who also need support, because I think there is not enough talk about these things.